Hello everybody! This week we are learning the story of the paralysed man. This story is found in the Gospel of Mark. Mark is the second book of the New Testament. Did you know that? And it's full of stories about Jesus. Shall I tell you one of those stories? One day Jesus was teaching in a house in Capernaum. A large crowd gathered inside and outside the house. They wanted to hear what Jesus was saying. He had become rather well known in recent months. Some men who had a friend who was unable to walk or even move at all, and the word for that is paralysed. They heard Jesus was around and they decided to take him to meet Jesus. When they arrived, there was no way in. So they had a brilliant idea. They dug a hole in the roof above the room Jesus was in, and they lowered the man down. I wonder what happened. Luckily, I have some people I want you to meet. I think they could answer that question pretty well. And my trusty and recently upgraded glasses will hopefully be able to take us back 2,000 years, where we can chat to those two people and find out what all this is about. Shall we see if this works? Oh, I don't know if I trust technology, but we'll give them a little. Did it work? Oh, wonderful! Can you hear me? Hello, man. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, fantastic. What kind of a day have you had?
Well, it's been rather tiring with carrying a mat and then having to do some demolition on a house.
Oh,
It's been a tough day.
Yes, I can't imagine how difficult that must have been. What made you think to go and collect your friend and take him to Jesus when you'd heard that Jesus was about?
Well, we'd heard the stories of Jesus, and he'd been to the town before and done amazing things, and we knew he could heal people with leprosy. We knew he'd cast out demons. He'd healed so many people, and our friend had been suffering all his life, and we thought, if there's a chance that we can get him healed, we must take it.
Oh, yes, I completely agree. What was it like when you arrived there then?
Oh, it was madness. There were so many people, dozens and dozens of, probably hundreds and hundreds of people, inside, outside, clamouring to get in, just to see Jesus, just to hear him, just to see what he was doing. It was extraordinary.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely extraordinary. We'd heard that he'd attracted crowds before, but we've never seen anything like it here before.
Oh, yes, I do wish I could have been there. What was it that made you think to go in through the roof, though?
Well, we knew we wanted, if we could get our friend in there, we really hoped and prayed he could be healed, and there was just no way with him on a mat. There was no way we could push through the crowds. It would have been too risky for him, tipping him off, or we would have caused arguments. We just didn't want to do that. So we just thought, there's got to be another way. And then we saw the property next door. We saw that we could get up onto the roof there and get across. And we thought, well, let's try it. It was really, once we got him up there, the rest was just really a case of us using our strength to break through the tiles and create a hole big enough to be able to lower him down.
Well, you are fantastic friends, and what quick thinking in those circumstances as well.
Well, we had to do it because we knew what this Jesus, what he could do. We were sure that if we could get our friend in to see him, he would be healed. We had no doubt about it.
You believe that Jesus is who he says he is. That's fantastic.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. No doubt in my mind and in my heart, I know it.
I've got one more question for you, and that is, what was it like seeing your friend healed, seeing something impossible happen to him?
It was you just felt that you were in the presence of God. There's no other way I can explain it. You just knew that this was probably the most extraordinary man we would ever meet, and anybody would ever meet. Just the aura, just the gentleness and the humility that he had, and it was, you could feel it, you could feel the atmosphere. You knew something special was happening there, something that nobody had ever done before. It was amazing.
Well, Mr. Matt Carrier, thank you so much for talking to me today. Thank you for sharing your part of the story, and thank you for showing us that every part of the story is important.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye!
Oh, well, it's such a privilege to be able to interview you today. It's been a very special day for you, hasn't it? Could you maybe tell me a little bit about how your day started?
Well, it had started pretty much like most of my other days. Really, I waited for somebody to come and help me out. I've spent most of my life stuck in bed. Really, I've had to have friends help me do everything. I couldn't move, so today was just like any other day. Really,
Oh, goodness, that sounds awful.
it's yeah, it's not been good. No.
How did it feel when you heard that Jesus was in town?
Well, I heard he'd done some incredible things, but it never really occurred to me that well, I mean, I couldn't get to him. I didn't think that I'd be able to meet him, or that he'd be able to come to me to help me. It seems such an impossible thing. It's just incredible that I can now, be in the situation I'm in. It's a miracle. It's fantastic.
Isn't it just? I think it's also a bit of a miracle that your friends decided to come and grab you and take you on a mat and carry you all the way to Jesus. But it's also surprising because they didn't just walk you in the front door, did they? I mean, how did it feel when you found out their plan was to dig through the roof?
Well, when we turned up and I was on there and we could see all the crowds coming to the building, I mean, I kind of thought that was it, really. I appreciate that they tried to do their best and get us there, but obviously with the crowds, we were, well, I thought that was it, really. But they had this idea. They were determined. Hats off to them. They were phenomenal, and for them to sort of carry me that extra bit up onto a roof and to dig through, it was fantastic. I mean, words can't say how grateful I am to them for going that extra step.
Yes, they are quite fantastic friends. My last question is one I'm really keen to know the answer to. I've never had the privilege of meeting Jesus in person, even though I do know him. But what was it like being lowered down towards him? What was it like when he told you you'd been forgiven and told you just to get up and walk?
Well, I mean, that was just the strangest thing. I mean, I didn't I didn't know what I was expecting to happen. I mean, a part of you always hopes that something can be done, and he'd had such strong stories coming through of this man doing these miraculous healings. But to then for him to just sort of say that, and then for me to think that I could just get up and move. I mean, I've not been able to move my whole life, and for him to just say, get up and walk, and I could just get up. It was, and for him so calm, there was no messing around, no waving things. It was just said and it happened. It was oh, it was such a incredible experience. He was just so calm and confident and just in control.
That sounds like Jesus to me. Well, what an absolutely fantastic day it's been for you. And thank you for taking the time to come and speak to me. And do take care.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Well, wasn't that fantastic? Friendship and faith so deep, understanding that sometimes we just need to be carried, and needing help isn't always a bad thing. And that Jesus has the power to forgive sins and heal us of all things. Even the Pharisee learnt something new that day, and everyone knew that Jesus was the Son of God, and that's the same today. I hope you have fun today, enjoy the sunshine if it's out, and maybe have a go at making your own mat, like the one the men used to carry their friend. Or even get a towel and see if you can carry one of your teddies, or even one of your grown-ups. Oh, I bet it's not easy. That's all from me today, my dears. So take care, and God bless you, everyone.
Where are my glasses?
They're on your head.
Hello, I'm Minnie Granny. Today I learnt to ride a bike. How did you enjoy last week's memory verse? Isn't it great having God's words stuck right in our minds? This week's verse is about how God has plans for us, and it's a book from the Bible called Jeremiah. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29 verses 11. I hope you all have a good week. See you soon, everyone.